Hi everyone and welcome to the Delta Basic Surgical Skills course. I hope you've enjoyed your day so far. My name is Susie ADDLEY. I'm the current Gynecology Oncology Subspecialty trainee here at the Royal Derby Hospital. During the following presentation, I'm going to talk to you about various energy devices which you may encounter in the operating theatre. We're going to discuss what they are, how they work, and what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of the various instruments used. So firstly, two different terms to get clear in your minds is the difference between electrocautery versus electrosurgery. Electrocautery is a fairly simple concept, whereby when during a procedure or an operation, a heated wire allows the direct application of heat to tissues, inducing a cutting or coagulation effect. Electrosurgery, by contrast, is a slightly more advanced concept based on the conversion of electrical energy into heat, bringing about the same cutting or coagulation tissue effects. Thinking some more about electrosurgery. During your time in theatre, you will have heard surgeons asking for various surgical instruments. Hopefully by now you will have heard of monopolar, bipolar, and perhaps even ultrasonic energy. Each of these energy types works in a different way, generating different surgical effects and conferring different advantages and disadvantages to the surgeon and to the surgery being performed. So considering each of these in turn, firstly, monopolar. As you can see from the diagram, the concept of monopolar is based upon a closed electrical circuit running between a generator, a surgical device, patient tissues, and via a return electrode back to the generator. Bipolar energy devices differ in that the current, instead of being returned via a return electrode to the generator, is limited to generating an effect between two blades of the surgical instrument. And this, by contrast with monopolar, confers the surgical advantages of less risk of patient burns, less thermal spread to surrounding tissues, and generating a better overall coagulation effect. Lastly, the ultrasonic devices. Well, these will direct energy along a similar pathway to bipolar devices, but with the addition of an ultrasonic component. And this generates high frequency oscillation of the instrument blades when the device is activated. This combination of both electrical and ultrasonic energy in these advanced energy devices will promote even less thermal spread to surrounding tissues, finer tissue dissection, and less smoke production. So when we directly compare and contrast our different energy devices, considering the key surgical properties, we can see that various instruments may be more appropriate than others, depending on the situation. So firstly, considering vessel sealing, that is hemostasis, we knew that bipolar energy devices tend to be superior in this context, and thus is likely the appropriate instrument to be used for highly vascular pedicles or if struggling to achieve intraoperative hemostasis. We have already discussed thermal spread, and we know that this is minimal with the ultrasonic devices, and therefore these are particularly useful when carrying out dissection in close proximity to other organs such as the bladder, the bowel, or the ureters to minimize the risk of inadvertent heat injury. Monopolar and ultrasonic devices provide good surgical efficiency for cutting through tissues. However, we must remember, as already discussed, the inadvertent risk of patient burns associated with the use of monopolar. Another important consideration when selecting our instrument types is to think about cost. Of course, the advanced energy devices are going to be significantly more expensive than, for example, monopolar. So I hope through this brief presentation we have provided an overview of energy devices and the principles behind them. It's important to remember that as a surgeon, it is your responsibility to understand how to set up, how to use, and how to troubleshoot your instruments. It's also important to be able to understand which instruments are appropriate in which scenarios so that you can select the appropriate device for your patient and for the surgery which you intend to perform. I'm sure the team today are very happy to answer any questions that you may have, either now or during the hands-on session. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and many thanks for your attention.